Welcome to the Champ and The Chump Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Idle, aka The Chump. Our champion, Mr. Lou Willard, is not with us today. He's doing some family business, and if you're wondering what that is, ask him or mind yours. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm here. We're going to run down through some receiver projections. As most of you know by now, if you've watched our receiver or quarterback projection shows, which I highly recommend you do, my projections are all based off of what Claude has to say. And then I go in and I play with it a little bit and see if I can make it make a little bit more sense. Lou, on the other hand, does his with his pen and his pad and his brain and his playing experience. So typically what we would do is play off of each other, bouncing off who I have versus who he has, see where we're at. Going to be a little different with Lou being out of the studio for a couple days. So what we're going to do is I'm going to run through my wide receiver projections 75 through 36. When Lou's able to join us, he will run through his 75 through 36. And then together we will break down 35 through our number ones. That's the plan. Hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, we improvise, we overcome, we adapt. That's what we do on this show. So with all that out of the way, let's get into it. As soon as I say, gotcha. As soon as I say, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Comment down below. We have fantasy leagues starting up for everybody. Excuse me. They're going to be fantastic. We got dynasty leagues, some PPR leagues. We have a couple guillotine leagues getting ready to form up. So comment down below if you want to join one of these leagues. We're going to have great prizes. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of trash talking. So I highly, highly recommend it for everyone out there. All 6 of you. With that said, let's now actually get into this. At number 75, I have Rashad Bateman, Baltimore Ravens wide receiver. Most of these guys, by the way, today are going to be, if not all of them, your tier 4 receivers. You don't want to start any of these guys at all. These aren't even necessarily the guys I'm going, well, if there's an injury, maybe he could get into this position and start doing this and they'll utilize. No. These are guys that I'm looking at as far as I'm concerned as either they have moved down the depth chart, being tier 4 receivers from a fantasy perspective, or there are circumstances involving the teams or their own health, for example, that may not make a lot of sense to put them much higher. Rashad Bateman falls into all of those categories for me. I have him at 31 receptions, 340 total yards, 3 receiving touchdowns, 52 total fantasy points. Could that go up? Yes. Should that go up? Yes. Will it? We don't know. You'd like to think Baltimore is going to have a lot more opportunity this year to pass the ball since Lamar got to handpick a coach that doesn't hate his guts. That's kind of a great start. So you would expect the receiving core in Baltimore to get a boost and might finally be able to be seen. I've mentioned that in past shows when talking about Zay Flowers. I think Zay has the most potential of the Baltimore receivers. I am not going after any of them, though. I don't like it. They're unproven. There's a new coach. All of their receivers have had significant injuries throughout their careers, no matter how long or short the careers have been thus far. So Rashad Bateman, no. That's a pass for me, but he is at 75. There's a lot of other guys that could have been, but they're not. 74, I got Malik Washington, Miami's pretty much only receiver, their new number 1. He has 41 total receptions slated, 380 total receiving yards, 3 touchdowns, and I have him slated for 56 total points. The font is really small on this. I don't know why they're trying to kill me, but that's okay. We'll make do. We make lemonade on this show. Look, Malik Washington is a good receiver. I don't believe is a number 1, not yet. With the loss of Tyreek Hill going to free agency and Jalen Waddle being traded to Denver, he's just in it. And I think his quarterback, to say has a question mark, is generous to everybody involved. The only Dolphin you should be worried about this year is Devon Achane. I mean, honestly, that's it. That is it. Malik Washington could have a good season. 41 receptions seems a little low to me for a number one receiver. But the second he has a good game, defenses can slightly adjust to him, and you're good. You don't have to run the two high safeties like a lot of defenses have to play now. You can sink a safety down. You can box up Achane. You can box up Malik Washington, and you're in a lot of trouble. So, again, tier 4 receiver could have a breakout. Absolutely could have a breakout. I'm just not projecting it, quite frankly. 73, guy near and dear to my heart, Demario Douglas, your New England Patriots. I have him scheduled for 38 receptions, 490 receiving yards, again, 3 total touchdowns, and 62 points on the season. He was pretty much there. I mean, Steph Diggs was the number one last year there. Demario Douglas was making his move along with Kayshon Boutte to really be that dog there. And they both had great seasons. Now, that receiving room is full up. A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte, Demario Douglas. I mean, it's about number of snaps for him. You know, if you put Demario Douglas and paired him with Malik Washington in Miami, I would think he'd have some higher numbers. I really do. And so would Malik Washington, frankly, because the defense would have to respect them both. And again, play a little deeper. So that's where I'm at with Demario. He just got moved down the chart. He's got tons of talent. It's going to take a complete devastation to that receiving room in New England for Demario to get any kind of snap share, let alone target share that is worth your fantasy value this year. 72, I have Calvin Ridley, Tennessee Titans. 34 receptions, 580 total yards receiving, 2 touchdowns, 70 total points on the season. There's a few factors here. I mean, look, Tennessee is what they are. Lou stated on our past show when we were talking about running backs and the Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears of it all, that Tennessee has already said they're committed to running the ball. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to help Cam out the most. That's what they believe will help Cam out the most and keep him upright, is to run the ball. That being said, they also got Carnell Tate. Add on top of that, you do have Cam Ward. He did start to come on last year towards the end of the season. You saw it starting to click for him a little bit. Does that carry over? Do we get a little bit of a sophomore slump? I don't know, but Calvin Ridley will definitely be the one that takes the hit if they do. Not to mention, defenses really seem to know if you got a physical cornerback, you can make things real ugly for Calvin Ridley getting off the line, and it's not pretty when you can rough up his route tree. 71, I got Christian Kirk, San Francisco 49ers. 49 total receptions, 530 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, and 71 total points on the season. Yeah, I mean, look, San Francisco's been decimated. They got Mike Evans. They got Christian Kirk. Christian McCaffrey's still going to be that guy. It's just going to be a matter of how Brock Purdy really can gel with all these guys. You know, Mike Evans is going to get his target share as much as they possibly can. I would look into Ricky Pearsall having his big moment in the sun this year. But as far as a veteran presence that Brock Purdy can go to in those short yardage situations, because you know that defense is going to be all over Christian McCaffrey, I think Christian Kirk has some play here. Again, he's still tier 4. I'm not saying rush out and draft him, but if you get into injury trouble when you're with your receiving core and your starter specifically, he's not a bad bench filler if you need somebody else just to be safe. Because you know in fantasy, once your team gets that injury bug, it's not stopping. You're just going to get decimated. At 70, I got Marvin Mims out of Denver. Again, 38 receptions, 440 total receiving yards, and 3 total touchdowns, 72 points on the season. Him, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, they're all in the same kind of boat, a lot of the same situation. Hell, you throw Demario Douglas in there. Marvin Mims now it was just Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin. Well, now you got Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton. Run fast down the field, Marvin. Stretch those safeties. That's your job. End of discussion. At 69, I got Cedric Tillman out of Cleveland. 44 total receptions, 520 yards receiving, 3 total touchdowns, and believe it or not, 95 total points on the season. We're starting to get into triple digits, guys. It's about to get interesting. It's not. It's not at all. It's Cleveland, dude. New coach. Who's the quarterback? Is Jerry Jeudy going to decide to play this year? What are their other rookie receivers going to do? Yeah, that's all I got on him. 68, Terry McLaurin out of Washington. I love me some scary Terry. Been one of my favorite players since he was on the Buckeyes. Good team guy. Really seems to enjoy Washington. Got paid, got injured last year. I think his age in football years terms, as well as the injury last year, is why he's so low on this list. He absolutely could move up this list. Jaden Daniels' injury is also a big factor. Is he quarterback proof? Yes. Is he quarterback and double team proof? No. And Washington is going to need to get some help for him. And I think they did with their draft. I know they got Antonio Williams. He's coming up. I think he's going to be the beneficiary there in Washington. So I like Terry McLaurin. I would also avoid Terry McLaurin this year. I think he could be some interesting trade bait if he does start to hit. But I think his days of like that real number one, I don't know, man. I got to see it again after the injury. I got to see Jaden Daniels stay healthy for a season. Like, believe me, there's nobody I would love to see catch a break more than Terry McLaurin. But so far, it hasn't been in the cards. At 67, I got Xavier Worthy, Kansas City Chiefs. He is probably going to be one of the guys that moves up, depending on what the deal is with Rashee Rice. But as of now, he's here at 67 with a projected 58 total receptions, 680 receiving yards, and 5 total touchdowns. I got him scheduled for, again, much like Terry McLaurin, 98 total points. I haven't seen it, man. I just haven't. He's decent. He's not a bad receiver. I mean, none of these guys are bad. They're playing in the NFL. But from a fantasy perspective, he doesn't look like he's on Patrick Mahomes' things to worry about. Like, where's Xavier Worthy? Yeah, it doesn't look like he cares much. It really doesn't. And again, a lot of factors are going to come into play. And a lot of these guys have the potential of that number one, even are slated as the number one on the depth chart. There's just too many question marks surrounding them. There really is. And I think Xavier Worthy is definitely one of those guys. 66, I got Jalen Naylor, Minnesota. 48 receptions, 580 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, 100 points even on the season. He has the potential to be the beneficiary there of the short yardage plays. Justin Jefferson's going to catch the double team. You know they're going to watch Addison over the top. That leaves Jalen Naylor available to roam around the middle with TJ Hawkinson. And I think they got another tight end out there in Minnesota this year. So he could be a big factor there. I could also see some rushing yards come into play for him quite a bit. So I'd look at that as a good value pick late in the draft. Again, all of these guys right now should be one of the last receiving options on your bench if you draft them. 65. I got Chris Godwin, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I have him scheduled for 62 total receiving yard or receptions. That'd be funny if he had 62 receiving yards. 62 total receptions, 790 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns on the season, and 100 points with Jalen Naylor tied. Chris Godwin has all the potential in the world to bounce back and be that dude. He just wasn't last year after a massive injury. He's had a couple other injuries through his years. It's just how he bounces back. Emeka Buka is obviously going to take some attention away from him, but the loss of Mike Evans, that's a boost for him. We got to know now who Baker's safety blanket is going to be. And if it can be Chris Godwin can be as good as anybody. At 64, I got Romeo Doubs, New England Patriots. You're going to see a lot of these guys here being Patriots receivers just because A.J. Brown is going to command attention. That's just a simple fact. Doubs, I got slated for 55 receptions, 740 total yards, 4 receiving touchdowns, 102 total points on the season. He was obviously much higher on the list before the A.J. Brown trade. This is starting to slowly turn into those Randy Moss years with the Patriots, where you have that one dynamic receiver being A.J. Brown and a lot of really good possession receivers. I know Lou and I debate what that term actually is or means. But you got a lot of good route tree guys. They can run them. They can play short. They can play that intermediate range. Romeo Doubs, no different. He's a great number 2. I think he's going to be fantastic in that offense. He's just not A.J. Brown. And let's face facts, guys. New England is going to run the ball. That's what Vrabel likes to do. That's what New England likes to do. And they got 2 dogs at running back. They're going to run the ball a lot. 63, Devon Vele for the New Orleans Saints. I have him for 48 total receptions. That might be a 6. I don't know. I'm sick of leaning in. 620 receiving yards and 4 touchdowns, 106 total points on the season. Again, these are all PPR points. Yeah, he started to break out last year. He could have a massive year this year. It depends on Tyler Shuck. It depends on Travis Etienne being able to make that defense play a little bit more honestly. And of course, what's Chris Olave going to do in this offense? If he becomes the man, Vele's kind of hanging back a little bit more in that. What's the old dude that went to Seattle midseason last year? You know who I'm talking about. Doesn't matter. It's fine. He runs deep. 62, I got Kayshon Boutte, New England Patriots. Again, 3 Patriots in this bottom 60 to 75. Just it's a crowded receiving room now, and Kayshon might actually be able to move up on this chart quite a bit because he may not be a Patriot for long. He is not happy about them bringing in Doubs and A.J. Brown. And I know, tough shit. Either deal with it or you can leave. But I have a feeling if he wants to be traded and they can grab some value for him, they absolutely will. Absolutely will. I have him slated for 50 receptions, 680 total yards, 4 touchdowns, 106 total points. If you're in one of these leagues that gives you points for catches over a certain yard, so a 50-yard catch, 60-yard catch, etc., you get bonus points for that. Kayshon Boutte's a good pickup here because he will gather those. He proved himself last year to be really, really good at running out and fetching that deep ball. 61, I got Jawan Jennings, San Francisco 49ers. 52 total receptions, 720 total receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, and 108 total points on the season. I think he has the potential to have a really good season. It's just a matter of what he does. I mean, so many of these guys in this, I hate doing this tier stuff because it's just, what's he going to do? I mean, honestly, some of these guys are just, you're throwing spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks. And I think that is the definition of Jawan Jennings. 60, Theo Weiss Jr. out of Miami. 42 receptions, 640 receiving yards, 4 touchdowns, 108 points on the season. You're saying that should be probably Malik Washington. There's no way. He's the number one. If he starts to play well and he and Malik Willis have a good connection, they're going to start to pay attention to him. That is only going to leave Theo Weiss Jr. open. Period. End of discussion. Same thing with Antonio Williams Jr. or Antonio Williams coming in at 58 for me. I'm sorry, 59. Out of Washington, 3rd round draft pick for them. 48 total receptions, 640 yards, 4 touchdowns, 108 points on the season. Again, see what I said about Terry McLaurin. This guy, if Jaden and Terry are that same duo they were when Jaden first got into the league and they're taking it by storm, you're going to see Terry's coverage get rough. See the young rookie. He's going to be able to help you out. At 58, Jalen Noel, Houston Texans, 72 receptions. I have him 800. Wow, 800 receiving yards. That's why I had to lean in there. Like, damn, 800. That's a lot. And 5 touchdowns, 110 total points. Nico Collins is always going to do his thing. You got Higgins coming back. You got Tree coming back. I think it's a pretty crowded room in Houston, but Houston's got injury problems on that wide receiver core, and Noel could be the guy that actually benefits from that, as sad as that is to say. All right, and thanks to the power of technology, I went and put on my actual reading glasses, so I don't have to lean into the camera and microphone every 5 minutes. That's what I should have done to start the show. That's what professionals call preparation. Anyway, at 57, I have Khalil Shakir, Buffalo Bills, 72 total receptions, 800 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, 110 points, just like Jalen Noel. He's going to be the beneficiary from the DJ Moore trade. That's all. Plain and simple. DJ Moore helps him all the way because he's not a number one. He's proven he's not a number one. But dude can ball out. And with Josh Allen and him already having a rapport, it is going to be a safety net for Josh Allen. So I think that'll help him quite a bit. At 56, I got Omar Cooper, New York Jets, our rookie, 51 total receptions, 720 total receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns, 112 total points on the season. It's a good situation for him. It's the same thing we say on every show when we're talking about the Jets. It's the coach. Moving on. 55, we got Josh Downs, Indianapolis, 72 total receptions, 780 yards, 6 touchdowns, 112 total points on the season. It's his quarterback. Moving on. Jalen McMillan, Tampa Bay, 56 total receptions, 750 yards, 4 tutties, and 114 points on the season. Same thing we've been saying. Chris Godwin, Emeka Buka, Jalen McMillan, who's going to benefit in this offense? We don't know. It's a new look. With Mike Evans, as much as that seems odd, this offense is going to change. I know he's getting older, but he was that guy there for so long. And he and Baker did have a rapport, and so much of that offense depended on his route running ability. So it'll be interesting. It'll be really interesting, but I could see Jalen McMillan moving in front of Chris Godwin if Chris Godwin has any of those problems still lingering health-wise. At 53, I got Denzel Boston, Cleveland Browns, 48 total receptions, 710 yards, 4 tutties, 115 on the season. Again, it's Cleveland. We talked about it with Cedric Tillman. We're going to say the same thing for every Cleveland receiver. New quarterback, who is your quarterback? New coach, and it's Cleveland. What are they going to actually do on the season? They have all the talent. They do have talent everywhere on that team. It's just a matter of what you do. And the loss of Myles Garrett kills that defense, which means the offense is probably going to have to even be in a position to throw more than they normally would. At 51, 52, I have Isaac Tasala, Detroit Lions. 58 receptions, 640 yards, 6 touchdowns, 115 total points on the season. He absolutely has the potential to fly up this list. He is definitely what I would call tier 3. Even though I have him in that tier 4 category, I think his potential is insane. Insane. Amon's going to catch up a lot of attention. You got to respect the running game in Detroit. Jamison Williams, we know what he's going to do. He's actually developed into quite a good receiver overall. Tasala's going to burn up yardage. He's the first one for sure on my list. I am saying I am drafting, and he's way too low already. At 51, I got Wan'Dale Robinson for Tennessee. 72 total points, 840 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, 117 total points. Just depends on, he's a great number 2 for Carnell Tate, sitting behind him and Calvin Ridley battling it out for that second spot. And who's going to play in the slot will be very interesting. I think Tennessee's quietly built a decent team. They already had a good defense. They have a decent running game. Their offense they never had a quarterback. So if Cam Ward works out, Wan'Dale Robinson's right where he should be at 51. At 49, I got Michael Pittman Jr., Pittsburgh Steelers, 78 receptions, 840 yards. Yes, that is correct. And 6 total touchdowns. 120 fantasy points on the season. Again, PPR. It's just, as we call him on the show, Driftwood. Can that old sumbitch still sling a ball? Is the offensive line going to protect him? Is Aaron going to get scared when he counts to 2 and just huck it to a receiver or tight end? Because that's what the offense was last year. I know what Mike McCarthy is going to want to do. It's just a matter of, is Aaron Rodgers physically capable of doing it? And last year didn't sell me on anything. I'll say that. It was a bad year for him. It's a bad year for the Steelers. But yeah, I'm not sold on anybody in this team with Aaron Rodgers quarterbacking. At 48, I got Deebo Samuel. This is my forgotten man forever. 70 receptions, 720 yards, and 5 touchdowns, 122 total points on the season. He's been the number 2 there. He seems to have lost a step since his days in San Francisco. The decline seems, I don't want to say rapid, but pretty steady as it goes with NFL players, especially dynamic guys who build a lot of what they are around speed. It'll be interesting to see if he has any of that left. It's going to be interesting to see if they even try to do some creative shit with him in the backfield with a healthy Jaden Daniels. I honestly don't know. I just don't know. He could be great. He was awesome back in the day. Loved having him on my team. Now I honestly forget about him almost every time we're starting to talk about receivers. And it makes me feel really bad because I have nothing against the dude whatsoever. At 47, I have Ricky Pearsall, a.k.a. 50 Cent. Well, we'll call him 25 Cent because he only got shot once. 50 got hit up 9 times. So 25 Cent, I got scheduled for 58 receptions, 720 total yards, and 5 touchdowns, 122 total yards. A lot of these receivers, if you start doing the math on this, there's rushing yards to factor in. There's rushing touchdowns you can factor in because some of the points don't jive with the numbers I'm giving you compared to other receivers on this list. That's why. Ricky Pearsall has a chance to break out once again. This is his opportunity in San Francisco. You have old-ass Mike Evans. You got receiving core that largely, I mean, Brandon Ayuk is there, but for the grace of God, he's all but gone. San Francisco needs to quit playing this game with him because it's going to hurt him in the long term in free agency. But all that being said about Ricky, I think he has all the potential in the world. It's just a matter if he can get down the field. It's target share at this point for him. It's just not there. At 46, I got Travis Hunter, Jacksonville Jaguars, 56 total receptions, 720 yards, 5 touchdowns, 122 total points. If you think they're going to play him at receiver, sure. I know they will. But here's the thing. They don't have to. They got Jacoby Myers. They got Parker Washington. They got Brian Thomas Jr. They don't need Travis Hunter on that field. If they want to put him out there in a more gimmicky fashion, they absolutely can. Keep him at cornerback, though, man. That's where the success is. That's where Jacksonville played well. Trevor Lawrence is using his feet more. The team's on the right track. Keep him at cornerback. That's where he excels and is needed in this or on this team. 45, ironically enough, Jacoby Myers. I have him slated for 80 receptions. No, 60 receptions, 930 yards, 5 touchdowns, 123 total points. I imagine you're going to see most of the Jacksonville guys on this show. It's crowded back. It's just a crowded receiving core. It's just really crowded, and we don't know who's going to get the ball. But we know what Brian Thomas Jr. is going to do. We know Jacoby Myers is steady Eddie. Travis Hunter being in the mix, of course, matters, as does Parker Washington, who I think is going to end up emerging as the true number one there. So a lot of things to consider when you go after this Jacksonville receiving core. I would tend to concentrate more on Trevor Lawrence and maybe Bashan Tootin as your number twos. That being said, we are on to 44. Jaden Reed out of Green Bay, 67 total receptions, 940 yards, 124 total points. Again, I believe in the Packers. I think the Packers got a really good team, especially if Josh Jacobs is able to take the field. And I think Reed is one of my guys that I'm looking at, like Tasala, maybe Terry McLaurin. Some of these guys that might hit, but really aren't supposed to. And I really feel like that's who he is. It's not a talent thing. It's a volume thing. It's a target share thing. That's what hurts him in Green Bay, really almost more than anything. He's battling a lot of guys with his similar skill set. And I think he can have success. He absolutely can break out, but who knows? At 43, we got Dejon Sterling out of San Francisco. I'm sorry that I butchered your name, sir. I feel like Keke Palmer. I'm sorry, sir. I don't know your name, sir. 54 receptions, 760 total yards, 5 touchdowns, 126 total yards on the season. We've talked about San Francisco receivers enough. I mean, we can go over it and over it and over it. It's going to be the same thing no matter what we say. Hey, here's the guy whose name I could not think of when I was talking about Vele. And that is Rashid Shaheed out of Seattle. Got him slated for 63 total receptions, 880 total yards, 5 touchdowns, 126. We know what he's going to do on this team. JSN's the man. JSN's going to remain the man. Rashid Shaheed is a very, very good complementary number 2 in this offense. From a fantasy standpoint, again, if you get extra points for the deep ball, if you get extra points based on yards per catch, he's your man. In a straight PPR league where, 10 points or a point per 10 yards, 20 yards, whatever it is for you guys, he's right where he needs to be. Right where he needs to be. At 41, I got Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Arizona. I have him slated for 60 total receptions, 920 total yards, 6 touchdowns, 128 points on the season. it's a mess in Arizona. Until they get the quarterback situation figured out, until we know Marvin can play a full season and even wants to play for this team, I don't know. Michael Wilson right now is a much better option for you in Arizona. Much better option. And I love Marvin Harrison Jr. Love him. I want him to be that guy. I just don't know if Arizona is going to be the right place for him until they can get this quarterback situation figured out. Because Jacoby Brissett can play. He can do it. But you got to pay him some kind of starting money. You can't disrespect your starters like that. At 40, Trey Harris, Los Angeles Chargers, 61 total receiving or receptions, 800 total, 820 total point. Man, even with my glasses, this font is crazy. I don't know how anybody can work like this. 6 touchdowns, 128 total points. No wonder Lou's gone. We know they're a running team. And nobody on this receiving core scares you. Ladd McConkey, Trey Harris, they're a running team. I'm taking O'Marion Hampton. If I'm as a backup, I'll take Justin Herbert, but no. I like the team overall is very good. From a fantasy perspective, I don't like their receivers at all. Not one bit. 39, I got Brian Thomas Jr. out of Jacksonville. 62 receptions, 920 total points, 6 touchdowns, 128 total fantasy points on the season. Yeah, we've talked about it, man. We've talked about it all in like the last 5 minutes. The Jacksonville receivers are crazy. Again, if you get points based on yards per catch, Brian Thomas is a better pickup than most of these guys will be. He won't get the volume, but when he does, it's going to be a big hit. He runs those intermediate to deep routes. He runs them very, very well. And by and large, not a lot of people can stop him. At 38, we got Emeka Egbuka, Tampa Bay. I have him slated for 58 total receptions, 880 total yards, 5 touchdowns, and 128 total points. Man, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 guys all with 128 points projected. Receivers are deep, man. This is a deep, deep league, and a lot of them are very similar. So you just got to know how your league runs. You really do. Because there is going to start to be a discrepancy. I mean, we're still in the 30s. We're at 38 right now talking about Egbuka. You get into 12, there's about an 70-point difference. That's a lot. So you got to choose wisely. As far as Emeka Egbuka is concerned, he had a fantastic rookie season. It goes without saying on this show, we are fans of Emeka Egbuka. We are fans of pretty much any Ohio State player that comes out and is doing well in anything. That being said, it's about Baker holding up. It's about what this offense is going to look like. Lou and I have questioned Baker's health and age recently. We've questioned the backfield. We've questioned the receiving core with Mike Evans not being there. Tampa Bay's got a lot of balls up in the air. And until they get answered, I don't know how quick you are to pull the trigger on any of their receivers. That being said, as far as potential is concerned, as far as what he can do, Emeka Egbuka has a number 1 receiver written all over him. He absolutely has the potential to be even in the top 10. It's just, can he do it? Because last year there was a massive fall off. Did that relate directly to Baker? Yes. But that also means, as good as Emeka Egbuka was in his rookie season, he wasn't quarterback proof because his numbers fucking flopped at the end of that season. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of questions with a lot of these guys out here, especially this early on this list. So we're not talking take them, early, third, fourth, fifth round. We're not talking that. What we're saying is be choosy. Choosy moms choose Jif, and you should be too. Be careful who you're picking up. Make sure you know your league rules. Make sure they fit the team appropriately because, as you can see, Emeka Buka, Brian Thomas Jr., Trey Harris, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rashid Shaheed, they're all pretty much the same from a projection standpoint. It's just a matter of what they all add. Is somebody going to add rushing yards? Are there touchdowns? Are there deep touchdowns? All of these things come into play. So it's not just a matter necessarily of the team and whether or not the team is good. At 37, as we start to round up the show, we have Dontavian Wicks, Philadelphia Eagles, 64 receptions, 820 total yards, 6 touchdowns, 130 PPR points. Look, you got the loss of A.J. Brown. We know, we have predicted, I won't say we know, but we have predicted on this show Jalen Hurts is going to have a massive season. That means that typically your receivers are the beneficiaries of that. Mekhi Lemon, Devonta Smith, Dontavian Wicks. That's how it goes. Those should be the three. If you want an Eagles receiver, I ain't mad at you. And he's a good one to have. We're starting to get into that good flex territory. You know what I mean? Like all those guys I mentioned before, Rashid Shaheed, Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey Harris, those are chancy. Emeka Buka, Wicks, and the rest of these guys we're going to mention in the next few shows, they should be in your starting lineup. They should be one of your 3 wide receivers, if not a flex, unless you go running back heavy, which is totally up to you. It's all about value. At 36, and to round out the show, I have Quentin Johnston, Los Angeles Chargers, 63 total receptions, 830 total receiving yards, 8 touchdowns on the season, 131 total fantasy points. I've had this guy a couple times. It's way too hit or miss. I mean, we're going to keep saying the same things until you guys actually listen. And understand this Chargers receiving room is not great. And it's not necessarily a talent thing. It's a system thing. Their system does not allow them to prosper. So when you think of the Chargers, think of Baltimore under Harbaugh, right? I know it's a different brother, but it's the same kind of general system. Think of that. The Chargers are the Baltimore Ravens from the Harbaugh days. They have a really strong running game. They're going to use it. They have a quarterback that can play when he has to. And by play, I mean throw. And you got some average receivers that can, run routes. They all run what they're supposed to run. But by and large, you don't want any of these guys. Absolutely not. I do not want a Chargers receiver in any way, shape, or form. I'll take Emeka Buka over Quentin Johnson any day of the week. That's all I'm saying. So with that, we're going to get out of here. I will do what Lou normally does. Be good, be kind to each other. Make sure you please like and subscribe down below. Please comment if you want to join a league. We are forming leagues up right now. Dynasty leagues are getting ready to start drafting soon, very soon. So jump in. We have a couple guillotine leagues we're getting ready to roll with. We got a PPR league we want to get going. So please, if you want to join the league, it's all good. Comment down below to put you in. We're going to have some great prizes for our winners at the end of the season. And what a better way to clarify your own fantasy relevance than by saying you beat the champion Lou Willard in fantasy football. The only way you can say that is comment down below. So do that. And before we get out of here, I'm going to give you this wonderful word from our sponsors. Is your boutique business being found where it matters most? If you aren't at the top of Google, you're losing leads to the competition. Calibration Media Group specializes in high-performance Google ad campaigns that put your shop or real estate listings directly in front of motivated buyers. We combine expert search strategy with professional video content to drive massive ROI without the big agency price tag. Get premium results at a low price point that fits your budget. Visit us at calibrationmediagroup.com. All right. Well, a big thank you to Calibration Media Group for sponsoring this show. I will not tell them Lou was not at work today. Hopefully we'll get away with this little with Lou playing hooky. But that being said, for the incredible and wonderful Lou Willard, who we are wishing well and hoping back on this show immediately, if not sooner, I'm your local chump, Corey Idol. I almost called myself a champ, and that would have been probably the funniest thing ever said on this show. We will catch yous on the flip side. Y'all be good.